Ah, Flash games. I'm certain that everyone around my age has played them before at some stage in their lives. Such a simple and lightweight way to entertain ourselves whenever we got that little bit bored. You see, if you've lived on Earth, at all, you would have been very well aware that Flash had reached the end of its support on December 31st, 2020, which for some reason meant that literally every single Flash animation, game, program, or whatever the hell else Flash could do would stop working. Anyways, Flash Player as we know it is gone now, replaced by the new kid on the block of easy to run, free, and online gaming content. And this newfangled Flash Player replacement is HTML5. Now, I'm no expert on Flash or HTML5 games, however, even I can see that HTML5 is arguably much less limiting and restrictive and runs more effectively on both modern and older systems. It works so well, in fact, that even the video that you are watching right now is playing using HTML5. That's right, buckaroo, back in 2015, YouTube did a good old switcheroo and booted Flash Player off the face of its platform, adopting this sleek new alternative. Heck, HTML5 is so good now that it even allows for 3D games to be played on the web, something that Flash Player traditionally couldn't do, to my knowledge. However, despite the fact that HTML5 seems like a direct upgrade from its predecessor, Flash, there is no denying the fact that modern HTML5 games are just bland and plain. They're just boring when you compare them to the games that we're all familiar with. After seeing these monstrosities appear on renowned websites like Cool Math Games and Miniclip, a small part of me just can't help but feel sad inside, knowing that the next generation will never feel or know the same joy that we did. No matter what we can do, we can't bring these games back. It's just not possible. Oh wait, that works? Huh. Alright then, lads, let's return to Flash Player. To start our trip down memory lane, let's take a look at a true classic that every human being should be aware of. Stick Wars. Stick Wars wasn't just your average free time at school Flash game. No. This was that good shit. This was largely only available on stickpage.com, home to pretty much every single stick fight figure Flash game and animation that was worth your time on the family PC at home. Stick Wars plays much like a 2D RTS. God fucking damn it. Stick Wars plays much like a 2D RTS, otherwise known as a real-time strategy game, having an economy system, melee units, ranged units, miners, a home base, and many unique units to train in order to beat your opponents. Not only does Stick Wars have a wide variety of units to purchase, but also a system in which you can take control of the units you purchase manually, increasing many of their base statistics and giving you something to do while your units train, or a more precise way to lead your army against your enemies. Truly an ingenious piece of game design, and a mechanic that I still genuinely find really interesting and unique. The game progresses across a world map, with the player attacking several different nations in order to gain access to their unit types after conquering their nation. Allowing the player to adjust to these new unit types by fighting them as their enemy really gets them to know their strengths and weaknesses by exploiting them firsthand. For example, a group of swordsmen can easily be shot down by ranged bowmen. Shield bearers can protect themselves against ranged units and take them out, while still being capable melee fighters. This isn't all the game has to offer, however, as there are also tactics to be applied as well. 3 overall commands can be issued to your units. Retreat, which pulls all your units behind a defensive barrier and converts them into archers in order to defend your home base. These archers are invincible and available at any time. Really, this should only ever be used if you're in a true pinch and need some desperate help. Defend, which is also very useful for holding your ground. Melee units will automatically walk out and attack nearby enemies, preventing them from reaching your statue, while ranged units fire on them from afar. And finally, attack for when you need to. Teach them a lesson. Truly a childhood classic. Let's move on to something that I'm certain that every single person has played. Run. Yep, that's it. That's the whole name. Not to mention that that's the entire game. Just jump, land on platforms, and, well, run. Hitting edges causes you to rotate and align yourself to that surface with one simple goal in mind: make it to the other side. Sure, while this game isn't as intricate as the godsend that is Stick Wars, the fun in this game comes from its simplicity and it really plays into the same part of the brain that gets stimulated by watching a man beat Super Mario 64 for the millionth time, but a split second quicker than everyone else. else. Now, it is upsetting to have to admit this, but I have spent more lunchtimes grinding this game trying to get a new personal best than I would like to admit. But there's just something so addictive about it that I can't quite put my finger on it. A really, truly fascinating experience. I, however, cannot be the only one to feel this sensation. There are also 2 other Run games. Run 2, which takes the original Run and places the platforms in a 3D space rather than just a hallway, which makes it kind of 3D in a sense. It's very cool for a Flash game and seems very difficult to accomplish, even if you are just moving forward at a constant pace and just rotating left and right, and you get the point. This seems difficult to pull off. I have no idea how they did this. And also Run 3, which, to be completely honest with you, I was basically done with school by the time this came out, or at very least I was bringing my own laptop and playing games on Steam during class instead of Flash games. I know, I leveled up, so I don't really have much memories of this one. However, playing it now, I can see why it's the last one, because it's a little bit shit. Hey, so, editing cow here. That last statement that I made about it being shit, not true. I rescind this a lot. I just went back and played it again after writing the script, and I was wrong. I know, I do things out of order. Anyway, let's move away from the school grounds and wasting time between classes, and go on to talk about a game that everybody has played at home. Age of War. Now, Age of War is a childhood staple, very similar to Stick Wars, but with a few key differences. Firstly, there is no campaign. The entire game is one big 1v1 against an AI, and plays this absolute banger of a song on loop the entire time. Just what more could you possibly ask for in a game? Oh yes, and you can't forget the fact that as this game plays, you evolve throughout time, progressing your civilization and unit types the whole way. Starting from literal cavemen and evolving into modern civilizations and beyond, unlocking new units and mounted cannons to defend your base as you progress. The game might not have as many gameplay elements as games like Stick Wars, but there are still elements of strategy in it. For example, deploying ranged units behind your front line allows you to get more DPS off and kill your opponents quicker while keeping yours alive. Special attacks also change throughout the game as well, acting as a last resort for when you are truly in a tough spot, or for when you need that final offensive. As you might be able to guess, I was a little bit of a sucker for real-time strategy games, and to this day, I still kind of am. That being said, I must not be alone, as this game was popular enough to get a sequel where the number of units was increased, new tiers were added, more turrets, as well as upgrades in order to make the game more customizable and interesting to play. I can't entirely remember if this was a game I could play in school or not, but honestly, this was still one of those games where I look at it and think it's worth my time. Even in the day and age of modern AAA games, Age of War is still a little bit of a standout for me. Probably because of nostalgia, but even still, it's a Flash game that everybody should know and have played at least once. One thing that I would like to say, however, is that the end screen in the original is, how do you put it, a little bit underwhelming. Yup. That's it. That's the end of the game. Yay. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay. Yeah, let's not put that in the video. That was so shit. Finally, I'm going to introduce you to a Flash game that I think is actually incredible, and one you probably haven't heard of until now. Unlike the rest of the games so far that I mentioned in this video, this game is genuinely, like, actually without any jokes whatsoever or any fucking emphasis, it is actually a complete game with a story, half-decent graphics, unique and interesting gameplay, upgrades, a class system, achievements, and a cast of characters. This game is none other than SONNY 2. This game is genuinely a miracle to me. Like, it's actually playable as a full game, not just a time stop between classes or something to speedrun when you get home, not just one of those things that you repeatedly, like, just redo and redo to try and beat it faster. No. If you think that that was the case, then you, my friend, are incorrect. For SONNY 2 is a full-blown RPG with turn-based combat and actually requires you to think about the moves your allies and enemies will make in order to win each battle. The game takes place in a world where people can be reanimated and turned into zombies. Actually, let's just hold up for a second and let me go off topic really quick. I just want to say that when you have to describe the setting of a Flash game, it has to be a pretty damn good Flash game. Okay, I'm done fanboying now, I swear. for the moment. Now, in this world, so many people had been reanimated and turned into zombies that the ZPCI, otherwise known as the Zombie Pest Control Incorporated, Incorporated, fair enough, needed to step in order to reduce the growing number of zombies. You play as Sonny, I know, crazy, a bloke who had played endgame credits on a research ship and was brought back to life as one of the very few intelligent zombies in the world. His resurrector, a blind man, gives him a tape. And Sonny's main goal is to survive in this world and listen to the tape that his savior gave him. As I mentioned before, the game is a turn-based RPG with many different abilities that you can use, stats to upgrade, and an ability tree to progress through. Each stage in the game has a few filler fights, a few story fights that progress the storyline, as well as a training section to make money, find loot, and level up. Finally, a store also exists within each of these areas to sell old equipment and buy new equipment. All in all, the game is actually really well thought out, and the storyline, while it's not as phenomenal as an avant-garde cinematic masterpiece, it's still very impressive, especially for a free Flash game that any child can play. Avant-garde, is that even a, is that a word? Okay, I got it, yeah, it's close enough. Yeah, no, fuck that, avant-garde. Okay, back on topic. I absolutely would recommend checking out this game, as well as the original Sonny game as well, or you could also check out Sonny 2017, an apparent remake of the original games that I absolutely did not find as of making this script. Trust me when I say this, I always knew about it, which is available on mobile devices for free and Steam for around $5. Cool. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for this video. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these all-time classics with me. Blah blah blah, insert call to action here, red button, ooh, shiny. Just let me know in the comments if you like this video or have any other childhood games that I should go check out, and most importantly, if you want me to make another one of these videos in the future. I'll see you in a week, same place, same time. Alright, bye.